Welcome back to the channel. I hope you're well. And as you see straight away, we're going to do another silver pour today. And of course, it's Walter White from Breaking Bad. And I'm just going to run through the process like normal. And I just thought I could have a little bit of a chat with you while we'll do it. I'm just sanding the base off here, off the print, just so it makes it easier to bring it out the sand so it doesn't break anything. And Walter White, I mean, what a character this guy was. I don't want to ruin it, or if you're not a Breaking Bad fan, the series that it was called, but this guy was just I'm going to start off by calling him a regular guy. He was a teacher, and then he got diagnosed with a terminal illness, and he just, I don't want to say lost the plot, but he was like panicking about the welfare of his family and what he was going to leave behind, and basically he turned to crime. He become I got to watch what I'm saying here because I don't know what YouTube does and does not like, but basically he started to cook various substances in various locations and started to sell them. But he done it on a mega scale. He literally world class at it, and it just got me to thinking, what most of us what are we all doing? And 9 times out of 10, probably a bit more. Obviously, it depends on each of our situations, but a lot of the time, people are saying, "Oh, I'm doing this for my kids. I'm doing this to leave something to my wife or my husband, my spouse, or whatever it may be." And I just think it's amazing when you've got like kind of a reason to do something that's more than just for yourself. You kind of, for me anyway, and for a lot of the people I see online, you kind of go for it more because it's got a little bit more meaning. And yeah, this guy Walter White, he literally he made millions and millions. Obviously, it's all illegal activity, but just what he was doing, the lengths he'd go to, and it was just this week, the last week, it's all been a bit of a week, if I'm honest. Lots have been going on, and you know, if you're aware, I'm a member of Stacker Social, one of the mods in there, and we've had some really, really bad news. One of our members we found out passed away. Stephen, with a threes for the E's. And yeah, it's the first time that to our knowledge. Obviously, we don't know everyone in there. We've got over 2,100 members now, but to our knowledge, it's the first time that happened. So it kind of like shook the server almost, and it did. And obviously, there's been an outpouring, and it's been lovely to see the community come together. And it just got me thinking, life's really short. It's really fleeting. It's, you got to go for stuff. And I don't want this to be a down and that, but it's just that Stephen's passing. It's like giving me, I don't want to say motivation is the wrong word, but it's like a wake up call almost, that if you want to do something, just do it. Forget what anyone's going to say about you. So I'm so sorry about the hammer. Cameras going everywhere. Just go for it and do it. You've just got to do it. And, as long as you're happy doing it, that's all what matters. And I think another member of the community, Nerd, posted something, and I've seen it come up, and it was like, I think he said kind enough the same thing. It's like he puts stuff in perspective, how short and fleeting stuff is. And I think there was a saying, I can't remember exactly how he put it, but there's a chap called Jim Rohn, and he used to do like these talks. He was like, if I suppose lots Tony Robbins, Anthony Robbins. Well, it was his kind of mentor, his forerunner. Now he said something like, people say they've got 30 years, but you haven't really. You've only got 30 more times. And what he was meaning by that is if you wanted to go to an event like, say, I don't know, like like Wimbledon, the tennis, or the FA Cup final, or the Super Bowl. If you're like 40 and you say you're going to live to your 80, just as an estimate, as a guess, well, you've only got 40 more times. It's 40 years, but really, here goes the hammer again. You've only got 40 times, 40 more chances to go. So if you don't do it in the next 10 years, you've only got 30, and it just whittles down so quick. And people see it's like years and years. Oh, I've got years to do this. But if you only go fishing once a year and you want to catch, I don't know what the a 20-pound fish or something. Well, you've only got 20 more goes at it. And I just feel, yeah, I think life can pass us by, and me included, very much so. I just want to grab every chance you get and just go for it. It's just really thought-provoking and refreshing when stuff. I mean, you know, we all lose people, and that's unfortunately that's getting older, isn't it? I've seen in my short life, you know, I'm 47 now, but I've seen at once. I suppose it's just how life goes, isn't it? It's just at first it was all going out, and then it was weddings, and then weddings progressed into christenings, and now unfortunately that's pushing into funerals, and it's kind of like a progression, and it just shows you what it's like. But that said, there is an advantage with getting older, because look at all the experience you've got. You can put all those 40 odd years of experience into your next year. You put it all into this next year to get the best of it out. You I don't know what I'm trying to say here. You get all the juice out the olive. You get a good pressing because you put all that experience in. And I just think it's so, I want to say, exciting. Even though you're getting older, it's exciting. And I was panicking the other day. Oh my God, I'm 47. I haven't done this. I haven't done that. I've only just started doing this, blah, blah, blah. And one of my mentors just said to me, you're 47. Okay, you're not 20, but you're 47. Life goes quick, but you've still got a lot of time ahead of you to do stuff. And even if you was 80, you know, I think there's a famous artist. She's called Grandma Moses. I'm not sure whether she's still alive or not, but I'm sure she took up painting when she was 78 or something like that. And her paintings are worth literally thousands and thousands, and it'd be 20, 30 grand. And she took up painting when she was 78. It's, Grandma Moses. It's so inspiring. And just to start, I think you've just got to start. That's all you've got to do. So yeah, you've just got to just go for it, I think. And we can get kind of stuck and lost. I know I was for a while. I've worked for myself ever since I was like 20, so 19, 20. So not on that front, but it was almost like a job. I got stuck in a way. I was earning this, do this to earn this. And my life was kind of, if I just keep doing this for the next 5 or 10 years, it's going to be fine. I'm going to retire, have a lovely life. But man, I didn't want to keep doing what I was doing. And that's why I come to the silver pouring. Obviously, COVID hit, and we've done a couple of other things. I started to do a couple of other projects. I renovated a house and this, that, and the other. And I was like, I really don't want to go back to the day job, as it were. And this is why the Silver Punk started. And it's just, I've lost my thread a little bit. What I was going to say. Started. I started Silver Punk, and you've just got to start and just go for it, because that was it. Because like my kind of day job, as it were, working for myself, it was just bean counting. It was do this to get that. And I've heard lots of people say the same, that they're in jobs, they're getting paid relatively well, but they don't really want to be doing that job. And I think they've got a term for it. I think it's the golden handcuffs or something like that. You're in a job that you don't really like or don't really want to be doing, but they pay you just enough to make you want to stay, and you do just enough work so they keep you. So you kind of like, you got these golden handcuffs on because you're paying you, and you're just floating through life. And that's where I was. And I get it, because at the end of the term of your employment, you're going to have a good pension and you're going to have a good retirement. And that's what it's all about, isn't it? Looking after yourself and your others. But I think sometimes there's something more. Sometimes you've got to look after yourself on the journey, haven't you? You've got to do what fulfills you and helps you. And the golden handcuffs. I know people who do it who absolutely hate the job. Who talk to me and tell me that they hate the job, and every time I see them, that's what they say to me. And in the back of my head, I'm like, do something about it. Just please do something about it, because 10 years down the line, you're going to be in the same situation. It's like, I've heard people say, oh, I'd love to go and be this, that, or the other, but it'll take me 3 or 4 years to learn. or to do the course, or to go back to uni, this, that, and the other. But, well, here's the thing. 3 or 4, 5 years are going to pass anyway. So what's going to happen? If you do it, you'll get there in 3 or 4, 5 years. If you don't do it, 3 or 4, 5 years are still going to happen, and you'll still be at the job that you don't want to do, or whatever it may be. So time's going to pass. Whatever you do, time's going to pass. So you might as well fill it with what you want to be doing. And again, I know that's easier said than done when you're younger and you've got less responsibilities. Yeah, you can go for stuff a lot easier. It's a lot easier to change, but just go for stuff. Go for stuff. Test it. You need to test an experiment, and test an experiment as quick as you can. Try this, try that, and ask people. You know, that's just something that I'm finding out at the moment. Ask people. Send them a DM, send them a message saying, what do you think to this? What do you think of that? Would you do this? Do you like this? Do you like that? Do you like this? And then you can get results. And then once you've got some results, then you can make a better decision. It's a bit like, say, kind of some of my silver pour designs. If I show 4 or 5 people, what do you think to this? And they all say, that's the one. Then you got to think, oh, okay, perhaps that is the one to move ahead with. And it's just by asking. Quick movement, and all the YouTube videos I've watched and books I've read, all these so-called top achievers and whatever, they always say one of the main things is speed. Go fast, just go for it, do it, bosh, now start today. And the reason for that is for the feedback you'll get, because you can sit there and you can think about things. Oh, should I do this? Should I do that? It's like me, I'm thinking about doing a silver pouring course. So I'm asking people to fill out a form. It's actually links in the description below. But of course, I've got to get the feedback. If enough people want to do it, then I'll go ahead and do it. If there's not, then we move on to the next thing. That's the thing. You've got to get the feedback so you know what to do for the best. If I'd blindly make a course and then try and launch it and no one's interested, then that's soul destroying, isn't it? And then you'll get disheartened, and then you won't start, you'll stop. But doing it this way, it's like, oh yeah, people want to do it, let's crack on, let's do it. Or there's not enough interest, so I'll reject that idea, and we'll carry on. We'll try something else. We'll just concentrate on the silver pours, on the art, and I think you can take that across to lots of other things in life. You've just got to test, and go quickly. Oh, and as you can see here, we're just doing the sprue here. This is a new. I've got a new supplier of sand, and this Petrobond sand is quite sticky. It's quite nice, actually. You can see here, it's slightly a different colour from my old one, and it is sticking. So it's quite, as you see, the line down the side. I can be a bit more rough with it when I'm working with it. So hopefully, we should get a good pour and a good impression. Here we go. Just trying to find the pliers. Here we go. Let's see what water's come out like. Oh, look at that bad boy. So cool. He's just an epic design, this one. Look how cool that's come out. Oh, yeah. So cool. So now all I've got to do now is do the vent lines round it, and then that'll be ready for the pour. But yeah, testing, and that's basically, when I say testing and experimenting, that's pretty much how I've learned to do what you can see on the screen here. Obviously, I've watched a load of YouTube videos, but when I started, there wasn't that many people doing sandcasting like this. It was more, I learned how to pour from like Bunker Bullion, Hi-O Silver, and Mr. Zeke, and they were more just pouring into graphite moulds. But I kind of got the basics of like temperature and how to do that, and then it's kind of evolved through just hours and hours playing with sand and seeing how to make the best impression in the sand and mucking about with 3D printers. And it's been so much fun. That's what I'm saying. You've got to, if there's something you really want to do, just go for it. I mean, looking back, it was crazy. When I started 2.5 years ago, I was crazy to start doing this. I literally was. If you looked at it on paper, I was crazy. But I wouldn't change a thing. No way. So anyway, that's all together now, and that's ready for the pour. So let's have a look at the pour section. So here we are over at the pour now. I better start the video, hadn't I? So you can see. Here we are. And yeah, you've just got to... I keep going back to what what my mentor said to me. If you want extreme results, you got to do extreme things, you know, and not extreme as in dangerous, but you got to take it to the next level, you know. You got to keep going, and I think that's really sound advice. Really cool. I mean, you know, there's enough negativity, and you know, don't be realistic. You know, you've got to be realistic. Sorry, but well, here it goes. But I think being realistic is so dangerous at times. Because you wouldn't strive for something better. You just go, oh, this is all I can do. You've got to be unrealistic. You've got to strive for better. You've got to go for it. You know. And I'm sure I've said before in one of my other videos, it's unrealistic to go to a little switch on the wall, switch it on, and a light comes on. That's unrealistic, isn't it? You know, but thank God Edison and all them guys weren't realistic and gone, oh, we'll stick with oil in oil lamps, you know. And yeah, you've got to keep pushing forward. You've got to keep going because you never know what you're going to create or make. Now, here we go. I'll be quiet now. I don't know if you can hear it. The quench. And now a few hours later, we come out with this bad boy.